Don't worry, I'm gonna rip the door off.
I have it written down here. You can tell me everything. Please carry over Oh, you're singing Friday night? Are you singing Friday night?
Wrong button, sorry everyone. We're back from closed session. There's not gonna be any kind of action due to closed session, but I do wanna make a statement from the council dais this evening. To everybody in the township, including the municipal employees. As council president, I think I spoke with the council members in the back, and we had a discussion tonight with our tax collector.
Yes.
Ms. Steele, who allowed me to make this statement. And you know, at last meeting, I think there was some, I'll say some perceived malicious or derogatory remarks made about her and her character. If that was the case, it wasn't the intent, and council certainly does apologize to Ms. Steele for those remarks. And if we could strike those, I would. But you know, certainly do apologize to her, and it was not an attack on Ms. Steele. So.
And as an observer, I would say Ms. Steele was very happy at the end of tonight's meeting that we had with her.
Okay, all right. So we're going to move on to public comment. Number 7 on the agenda for this evening. The council's intention is to preserve the level of respect, courtesy, and civility required to successfully conduct the public's business. In this regard, the council should be addressed during public participation as a collective body and not individual members. In order to respect the speaker's time, council members will not engage in a dialogue or debate with the speaker. However, council members should feel free to, ask the speaker, a question or questions. Once recognized by the council president for purposes of clarification, council members can offer comments on the speaker's remarks. Once the speaker has concluded his or her comments in their allotted 5-minute time frame. So we are now open for public comment. I think everybody in the room knows how this works. I'm sure people are going to be coming up. And just so everybody knows, Amy or Ms. Kozlowski is the 5-minute timer. So, all right, perfect. Mr. Costa, how are you this evening?
I'm doing pretty good. Yourself?
Fantastic.
Oh, that's good. Alexander Costa, 2950 Route 70. Dan, I'm glad you're back.
I'm glad I'm back.
I'm glad we were able to discuss the resolutions last night, and Mr. Ward also thank you as well. Harry Harper also thank you. I would have talked to you guys, but I don't believe in bothering two gentlemen past 9 o'clock.
Nice. So they're not.
Thank you.
Well, we've been dealing with them for a while now.
Bring in Freddy's in order to get past 9.
Well, somebody's gotta go get the burgers. I just wanted to touch on the resolutions, 82, 85, 86. Through 92, I think should be passed. 93, Mr. Ward, you and I both talked about this last night. It was about $1,000 we would be refunding. And then we would be getting refunded back, right?
Something like that, yeah.
So, I do think that we should have put the amount on there just to be a little more transparent with how much we were gonna be sending back to the disabled veteran, gentleman. Definitely yes to 94, I think we need to accept the $1,000 donation, any little bit helps. The current year, 2025 urban enterprise, for 95, it's, the enterprise zone, the urban enterprise zone funding in the amount of $433,443. I guess we should say yes to that. It's money that we could use for something. The shared services agreement between, and this is for 96, 2025. The shared services agreement between the Township of Pemberton and the County of Burlington for Operation Helping Hand funding. How much money would that be for funding? Just a dollar amount. You can answer that when I'm finished.
$15,000.
Oh, 15? Oh, that's not bad. And would that be out of ours, or would it be like a grant?
It's a grant through the county, I believe it is.
Oh, so, okay, definitely accepted. Now, the urban enterprise zone, I was under the impression, did we shrink that down to just downtown Borough? We did? Okay, so we will be accepting the plan then tonight?
The resolution, if it's approved, accepts the plan that's on file, which was talked about 2 weeks ago. And it includes 9 pages of lot and blocks that are being taken out of the plan. So that's how it's being shrunk down.
Okay. And, on the ordinances, I would say no to ordinance number 4, 2025. I don't think we need to pass it. From my understanding, it would raise taxes if we don't use all the money. Potentially. And, definitely yes to ordinance number 5, 2025, and I also understand, the BMIA also had a hand in helping with this. So definitely, if they're in support of this, I would definitely say yes to it. For the new business, I would definitely say yes to A, 1, and 2. I think those are needed. The Senior Citizen Center is in bad shape, so let's get on that. And please vote yes on it. I wouldn't say, and for new business, letter B, I wouldn't say yes to the motel license budgeting. From my understanding, the living conditions haven't improved, so let's not have people living in crappy conditions. And letter C, Mr. Bianchini, I know you're a gentleman from Presidential Lakes, and I hear they have a good 4th of July parade every year. So I think we should give Mr. Bianchini a good 4th of July parade this year. And yeah, that's about it for the resolutions. And now I understand you're also on the Veterans Advisory Committee, and you're also working on the parade. Can we please get some military equipment strolling down the road for our?
No.
No? Come on, I want a tank and some helicopters and some.
So we did reach out to the base. The mayor is directly involved with this as well. A lot of efforts going into this parade this year. It's going to be a very nice parade, but the base cannot support us with any formations or any vehicles just because of other obligations they have between the air show and other Memorial Day things. So they're going to provide us an honor guard. I didn't get notice of that today. So we'll have that. But aside from that, and the guest speaker coming from the base as well, but nothing else. We did try.
Okay, thank you. And I also sent you all, and I sent you in the text message, the original YouTube page for Pemberton. Did you get it? Yes. I also sent it to all of you guys in an email. I thought it was kind of cool looking back 10, 15 years ago, seeing what was going on in the town then. And I'm glad that we are now recording the meetings, and I record the meetings as well, so please don't be jealous that my quality is a little bit better. Just saying. And if I can, I hope to record our parade this year for the veterans. I think it'll be nice to finally get something on the page of events for our community. All right. Oh, and can we please sell the emergency squad building for Mr. Ellie? The man needs it. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex.
Oh.
Good evening. First of all, the board, that was really nice. In all the years of covering Pemberton Township and attending Pemberton Township meetings, have I never heard anyone do what you did this evening for Ms. Steele. And as a long-term employee, she just, thank you. That was very upstanding and very forthright, and I appreciate that. And I know that you don't like, that you're not used to hearing positive things from me, but I must say also, driving here tonight, I was in Mount Laurel at 5 o'clock and coming here, even 38 was like really flooded. And I recalled yesterday hearing a noise for several hours outside my house, and I realized what was happening. The storm drains were being cleaned on my street. If they had not been cleaned yesterday, I would not be able to drive home tonight because my street would be totally flooded. Over the years when the storm drains haven't been cleaned effectively or for a few years, my street floods really bad. So please extend my thanks to Public Works for that great job. The UEZ plan has me really confused. That presentation that we saw here 2 weeks ago was like a little bit of a lot of nothing. I don't even understand, we talked about the area that it encompassed. He mentioned the survey that they did, but as far as the public sitting here, and I'm sure that you had something more comprehensive in your hands at that time, but he didn't say what came out of the survey that he did for the public. What's now encompassed in the new plan that we're gonna approve for 5 years that we apparently don't need because our designation as the UEZ is done in 2027, so why we hired someone for 5 years, I have no idea. And I also have a question about what the enterprise zone funding, the $433,000 is going to be used for that we're accepting in UEZ funds. What is that going to be used for? That's it.
Okay, well, I'll try my hand at it, Marie,
Okay.
and if Jerry wants to cut in,
Sure.
he can do so.
I
So,
will not cut in, Joe.
No. So, I'll answer the second part of your question first, Marie. So theoretically, right?
Mhm.
So we don't want to jump the shark, so to speak. So if by the slim chance that 10%, 15%, that the UEZ funding does get extended by the new state administration, right? When they come in, there's a possibility, right? And I'd say probably 50-50 maybe, but I don't see it. I don't see that, right?
Right.
But as of right now, yes, it has a hard end date.
Right.
So we don't know, I guess members that participate in the UEZ plan would keep their fingers crossed and go, places like Newark, like you heard the presenter talk about, what was the beach town, Jerry? That was
This is
Long Beach.
Long Beach.
Okay.
No,
No.
Atlantic Highlands or something?
Atlantic Highlands, yeah, I think it was Atlantic Highlands, right? So they would use that. They're more condensed populations, right, Marie?
I get that.
So they're gonna utilize that money in a situation that's better for them, because they have more businesses, even though it's seasonal in nature, but then they take that money, even Cape May, I think Cape May,
Is it?
yeah, I think the Cape May Borough utilizes UEZ funding as well, right? So they have a captive audience, they know, they're 100 Days of Hell, or, summertime, whatever they wanna call it, right? They're gonna be able to go, okay, well, guys, we got a month before Memorial Day weekend, here's your money, right? And then they go and they splurge on new facades for the businesses and whatnot, right? So, whereas we don't know, we don't have that kind of a business here in the township. So I guess to not get long-winded in this situation, it could possibly, and it looks like it's going to sunset, absolutely. It was given I think everybody in the state probably back in 2017 was like, whoa, wait a minute, what happened? Everything was like, it was gonna sunset then.
Yeah.
And they just continued it because the
Yeah,
lieutenant
surveys
governor's
showed that,
efforts.
the statewide survey showed that it
Right, so I don't believe that, me personally, my beliefs are, I don't believe it's going to continue, but that's, we'll see, As far as the UEZ plan, what I would do is refer you to the clerk's office, or it might be listed on the website.
Well, after you approve it this
After we
evening,
approve
it
it.
probably will be.
Yeah, but you can, it is very thorough, right, what, about maybe 175, it's pretty big. And it does reduce the amount of area in the township that's controlled by or designated UEZ. And in my personal opinion, that's a good thing. And I think there's a lot of, folks up here that think that's a good thing. I think there's a lot of folks in the audience that think that's a good thing.
Is it primarily town center? Is it
Primarily
primarily
town
town center?
Not, no, it basically, like the gentleman said at the last meeting, right, it has to follow businesses, and it behooves the UEZ to incorporate as many businesses as it possibly can, right, because that's how it gets funding. So that's why you see it, I think Mrs. Guthrie came up and asked why Birmingham is right. But there's other things that are happening at the same time that'll kind of, secure what the residents of Birmingham, the west end of town, want that to be. So they work hand in hand, just ultimately, I guess, I'm getting long-winded, but just because there's a UEZ zone down in the heart of Birmingham, doesn't necessarily mean that there's gonna be more businesses, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, oh yeah, it does, definitely. I mean, for the existing businesses, it does, unless you're gonna say that, everything in Birmingham is now up for redevelopment. It's an area in need of redevelopment, and, it's happened in the past, so who knows?
Yeah.
And then what is the $433,000 being used for that we're receiving right now?
Well,
Is that-
that would be, the Community Development Department, UEZ Department, and then the administration would be in charge of that. However, that funding would be budgeted money, right,
Yeah.
for that UEZ?
The gentleman who was here last time from CME Engineering indicated a lot of that money would go towards fixing up business buildings, for instance, that are in the and by the way, don't forget, it's half the sales tax, it's 3.5% on so. So, generally speaking, that's it. I don't think there's any specifics as to where that money's gonna go and what businesses. But generally, and the plan is very thick, and in a general sense.
Yeah, a lot of boilerplate though, right? I mean, let's be honest.
I didn't write it.
Okay.
So anyway, it's to help
Right.
promote the businesses in the UE zone, either aesthetically or maybe some other ways.
Okay, I guess we wait and see. Thank you.
Marty, you weren't first tonight.
Nah.
Marty Graf-Blanker, Mount Laurel, New Jersey. Good evening, Mayor, Town Council members, and residents. My name is Marty Graf-Blanker, and I am the president of the Browns Mills Improvement Association, the BMIA. And I'm proud to share that BMIA will turn 106 years old this September. I would like to start by expressing my heartfelt gratitude to the mayor, the administration, and every member of Town Council for your unwavering support of our upcoming water carnival. Your backing truly means the world to us. I am pleased to report that we recently held our float building seminar, which was very well attended by previous float builders, generous individuals who have offered not only to help out prospective float builders, but to also provide them with supplies and advice. They have decking, barrels, and leftover decorations from previous years. If you are a prospective float builder and we can help you in any way, please reach out to me personally and I will get you in touch with the right people. In conjunction with the float building class, we also hosted a donation point for Operation Yellow Ribbon. As many of you may have read in the newspaper, Operation Yellow Ribbon is winding down its operations due to the high cost of postage and rent for their facility, making it extremely difficult for them to continue as they used to. We would like to publicly thank Dave Silver for all these years of selflessly working for the nonprofit organization and for volunteering his time. We have been proud to partner with them since we are on the outskirts of a military base, and much of what was sent overseas in supplies surely went out to some of our local residents. While we are sad to see them go, we completely understand their situation, and we wish Dave Silver and everyone associated with Operation Yellow Ribbon the best of luck in life and with their future endeavors. In other news related to safety initiatives, I'd like to inquire if there's been any progress at the dangerous intersection of Weymouth and Rancocas roads. Last year, concerned residents spoke about speeding cars in that area while children were walking to and from school. Tragically, a child was struck by a vehicle after that incident. We would appreciate an update on what actions are being taken to mitigate this potentially tragic situation. Now let's talk about what's happening at the BMIA. This Friday, we have our Mardi Gras Masquerade Karaoke. If you are a BMI member, and you definitely should be, as it's the hottest place in town, for just $15 per family per year, it's going to be a fantastic night. Members attending Mardi Gras Karaoke will receive free Mardi Gras masks and beads, plus we're serving free hot dogs, popcorn, and soda or water. Following that, we have a highly anticipated event, Coffee with a Cop, and tag presentation focusing on anti-addiction. Chief of Police Glass will be joining us to answer questions on Sunday, March 23rd at 2 p.m. I'm thrilled that many community members have reached out with topics they'd like to discuss with him, and I've already shared those with him. This is a great opportunity to connect and engage with our police department, and we'll have delicious baked goods and punch available while we discuss important community issues. Looking ahead to April, we have a double shot of community talent. On April 4th, we'll host an open mic night featuring blues music, and what a wonderful way to enjoy the local talent. Then on April 27th, we have our AMPed event showcasing art, music, poetry, and dance, a talent show for our local stars. If you're interested in participating, please reach out to Tony Mealy at 609-744-9938. He can be reached by text or phone call. Alternatively, you can visit our Facebook page and send us a message. Look under groups for BMIA, and our cover picture is our emblem, the same one on the back of my shirt right now. Additionally, I encourage everyone to become a member of our Facebook page, where you can find detailed information about graduation gifts and all the events we're having. In May, we are excited to host Debbie King for a paint party. Details and prices will be provided soon. As always, members will enjoy free food at our Fun Friday events. We're also holding a yard sale on May 25th. It may be outside, weather permitting. So if you have items to unload after your spring cleaning, bring them to the BMIA. Members will get a free table from 2 to 4 p.m. In June, we have Fun Friday Night event on June 6th, a 50s themed sock hop costume party and dance. As always, free food will be available to members, but everyone is welcome to join in on the fun. We're also thrilled to announce a graduation luncheon at the BMIA on June 22nd. We're returning to our traditional practice of awarding monetary gifts to the children of our members. If you have a child or a grandchild graduating from high school, 8th grade, or preschool, please contact me personally with the details. We have a budget set aside for these graduation gifts because we believe in supporting our young scholars. So I know I'm out of time, but we do have Community Blood Drive, September 28th. We're looking for 35 donors, and we have the whole building on Halloween. We're gonna have a haunted house, give out candy to kids, and then have an adult costume party on Halloween night. That's all, folks. So just if you have an update about that intersection, that'd be great.
That would be Mr. Mayor.
I know I contacted Public Works, they're looking at getting some stop signs, I think, for over there. And as soon as the weather changes, we're looking at doing speed humps in there too. But we need to do, anytime we do anything with a road, we need to do traffic study with the engineering company and stuff like that. I'm still waiting on, 2 years ago when I got into office, we did a traffic study on Clubhouse in Lakehurst. We did get that back. We're looking at possible changes at that location later on. But they also recommended looking at the intersection of Pear and Broadway. And we requested the traffic study on that over a year ago, and we haven't got it back.
Has there ever been a traffic study like Evergreen and Westlake?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's a real blind.
I'm gonna say they probably did do one at one time because they trimmed that hill pretty seriously a couple years ago. but that was before I became mayor, but we are working on it. It's hit and miss on the traffic studies though, how long they take. I think with the police, we can get them to look at the road for the speed humps. I don't know what other measures we can take other than that and some stop signs. The one road there is a private road,
Yes, we're aware, yeah,
so.
yeah, and we're gonna ask him about that when he comes to visit us, so, thank you.
Okay.
Pat Guthrie, 317 Birmingham Road. Welcome back, Pam. And hi, Harry and Josh and Jerry and Perry. Missed you last time. And I just got a text that you're being checked out on YouTube. This young female told me to tell you hello. I have a question, regarding resolution 99-2025 and 100-2025. With this 5-year strategic plan, now the UEZ was supposed to go away in 2027. But with this passing, does this extend it out to 2029? And then, my understanding about the UEZ is it was to help areas that were in need of bringing in new business. It offered the businesses to be able to charge a 3% tax to bring in more, patrons to shop in their store, which I believe is, helpful for the residents to not have to pay the higher taxes. But I do believe that it is being spread too far along through Pemberton, that it's in areas that it shouldn't be. I pointed out some of the areas during the last meeting, but on here, it doesn't go into specifics, and I don't see a map to see which areas were removed. I understand that the residential part of where I live was removed, but because I don't see anything in writing, I just would like to confirm that, Birmingham has been removed from the UEZ. And I think there were other areas like our forest and farms that shouldn't be included in the UEZ. So, I think that the public, maybe they should have another map and say, hey, this is the changes we made. These are the areas we eliminated. So how about everybody take a look and see if there's another section or something that we do not believe that should be included. So until that is done, I believe that should be tabled. So that's one of my concerns there with 99 and 100. The other thing that I don't understand is ordinance 4-2025 to increase the, budget from 2.5%, which is already mandated by law, the way I read this, to be increased to 3.5. Do we really wanna do increase? We're trying to cut back our spending, and this just opens up the door for additional and more spending that, it's like a given. We need to pull back, not ask for more. And for new business, number 8.2, why are we paying for PFAS testing? The government, the base should be paying for that. And I know there's sections of the base where if you request, because we already have contamination in our township, I'm quite sure they would come out and do it and not charge us anything. So, those are my questions. There's 3 questions. 1, can we see the map of the UEZ before you vote on this? 2, why are we needing to increase our cap by 1%? And 3,
why are we paying to have PFAS testing done?
Sure. Ms. Conti, let me try it with the first two. In terms of the math, I don't necessarily disagree with you. I think that CME could have done a better job. They had the big, old red designation as to where the UEZ was before this new plan, but they don't have it visual. What they do, what on the resolution that is on tonight, there's 9 pages of lots and blocks that are no longer part of the prior plan. I don't know the geography, but I'm sure if you look at it, you'll see what is or isn't, how many of Birmingham areas are being removed because you do the lot and blocks. I think the CME could have given us a better map as to what it's gonna be, but here we are. But the lots that are no longer going to be in the prior area, prior UEC territory, are listed on the resolution, number one. On the 3.5% ordinance cap, the statute requires you can't go up more than 2.5%, except you have the right, there are certain things that are exempt, of course, but you also have the right by the statute to potentially increase it up to 3.5%. So I don't know too many towns who don't adopt the ordinance. That doesn't mean you're gonna go to 3.5%. But as the budget is being created, things happen, and you may or may not need to, so it gives the town some flexibility. That budget still has to be voted upon before the public, and it's published in the paper ahead of time, and you would know ahead of time, generally speaking, what the increase on a percentage basis is. So, you still know that, but the statute allows the flexibility just as necessary for some unforeseen circumstance.
Now, do you really feel that it's necessary?
I'm sorry?
I mean, do you feel as the council that it's really necessary to do that increase?
Well, you're asking me, I'm not voting, but I think it's necessary to adopt the ordinance, because it gives you flexibility in case, you just don't know what may or may not happen, you might need that little bit more. That doesn't mean it will happen, it still has to be
Yeah,
part.
if it stays the way it is and an emergency comes up and you need to spend more money, at that point, if it comes to council and you guys vote, okay, yes, we need this and we need to approve it, can't it still be approved in that manner? Or does the budget have to be increased to be able to take care of, if something comes up?
Well, from the guy who doesn't even balance his own checkbook, let me try to help you out here. And I'm not exactly sure, once the budget is approved, if it has to be for some unforeseen emergency purpose, the town has the right to adopt what we call emergency appropriations. That gets much more complicated. And what happens with those is you have to increase your taxes the next year to wipe out that emergency appropriation. And it's an emergency because you don't plan on having that money. You've got to dip into your surplus to get that money. But the money has to go be taxed in the following year to put it back. It gets more involved. And it's a bigger tax jump for the following year because you gotta make up that money plus whatever else. This does not mean that the budget has to go or wouldn't necessarily go to 3.5% more. It just allows, it's a planning tool that frankly almost every town that I know.
So me and the residents, we're not gonna get a 3.5% increase in our taxes next year.
I didn't say that.
Can I jump in here real quick? So Pat, so that extra 1% isn't real money. It's there, to Jerry's point, as an emergency if needed, it's not real money. It's just, you don't have to go through that.
I kinda get it's what if money.
Yeah, exactly, so it's not, so if we have to go the other route, to Jerry's point, you're guaranteed a tax increase next year, guaranteed.
A big one.
But with this, there is no guarantee of a tax increase, it's just an extra cushion, if something comes up, that 1% extra is there.
Every town, including Pemberton, has surplus. And sometimes, when you're preparing your budget, rather than pick up the taxes too high, you can, if you need to, dip into the surplus before indicate you're gonna take money out of the surplus before the budget's adopted. So there's all kinds of different ways that the CFO, the mayor, and your auditor put this baby together, so to speak. And all is subject to public inspection, public input, and a public vote.
And back to your answer to my first question, so they don't have to go through the expense and all this, cause I know it costs a small fortune to pay for, all the maps and everything that were drawn last week. So they wouldn't have to pay anymore, just to use the same map and put it up for the people and say, okay, X, this is gone, this is gone, this is gone, just to show the people what's gone. And let us see in black and white. You know, rest assured, before we say, hey, go ahead and vote yes for this, that we actually physically see that, you know, areas that we don't want to be UEZ has been removed.
And Pat, to answer that, I think Chris was trying to do his due diligence at the last meeting by staying here so late. I think his name was Chris.
Yeah.
Chris, Doctor, yeah, a really nice guy. He spoke with me. But, yeah, the maps were a little small. I definitely agree with that, you know what I mean? But I think Chris did a very good job of sticking around, kind of answering questions when honestly, he didn't need to, but he did. He was very forthcoming and pretty, you know, very presentable, I thought. And I'll answer your question while I have you on the PFAS out on the fields, right? So we dump sludge on the fields, that's why we have to pay for it. So we're utilizing the fields to dump treated sludge out of our sewer system. So now the state's mandating that we have to test that for PFAS, which you might quite possibly find in sewage water. And later on down the road, there was actually a study down in, I forget the place down in South Jersey. But pretty soon, you're gonna start seeing, different municipalities in the state of New Jersey that are actually gonna have to filter their sewage, water, as well as put a activated carbon filter system on their water filters, on their water wells. That's coming up, and there's several, municipalities that already have to do that. And they're actually trying to take the, spent carbon from the water filtration and then putting it into the sewage system to double down and get more of that plastic, those polycarbons out of the water. So, you know, that's why we have to start testing for PFAS on those fields. They probably will find PFAS on those fields, I would assume, right?
The last thing about those wells, thank you, President. I work in Manchester Township, which is on the other side of the base, and some of the wells, home wells, close to the base, were discovered to be polluted from things which generated from the base. The base has to take care of those wells, and coincidentally, we discussed last week with our engineer to look into the situation, because if there are wells, homeowners' wells near the base, which show contamination issues, we're gonna knock on the base's door and say, you know, who's supposed to pay, who's gonna drill these new wells? So that's something that the governing body is thinking about, not necessarily about this resolution, but it's something that they're not ignoring, and it's gonna.
Yeah, I would think that when they spend the $4,685, if they do find PFAS, then they should be making out a bill to the base. I mean, if they don't, because you're just doing it as a precautionary measure, that we're not polluting our dump sites, I guess. That really doesn't sound like it goes together, right? But, I mean, if the PFAS is found, I'm quite certain that the government will pay if there is PFAS. So that's something you might wanna consider if you're gonna fork out the money just to see. And then if it's not there, well, we just put out the money just to check. But if it is there, the base should be billed for it. But thank you very much, and I hope you do consider, before you vote on the two resolutions, to let us see the actual UEZ area. And I didn't get an answer to is this extending the UEZ to 2029?
I did look that up while you were talking with Jerry. What was her name? Hold on. So basically, the bill was passed in 2021 by our then Lieutenant Governor Sheila Oliver. It was A5580 and S3600 respectively. So that means it was extended and with or without funding source for more than 10 years. So that means you're looking at just so everybody knows, so it doesn't come up again, 2031, right? So from 2021 to 2031, that was the 10-year extension. So we're looking at 2031. So that would be past the 5-year plan, right? Because it's 2025 now, it's 6 years.
So 2031, the UEC is gone,
As,
unless it gets voted back.
unless it comes back, I don't see that happening.
And basically, there can be changes made in between 29 and 31, since there's like 3 more years going there. Or I guess it can be changed each year like you did this year,
Yeah, right.
for anything that needs to be done. Thank you very much, gentlemen, I hope you have a nice evening.
Sorry to bother all of you. My name is Ellie, and I'm evicted from 1000 D, Pemberton Borough, and my time is 1 month. I wish anybody can go and look whether I can move all those machineries in 1 month. I heard somebody have given you advice, give him 1 month. Same way next door lady, 1 month. Now, I don't have no place, I have no problem of moving, but I don't have no place to move. Now, in 1 month, if I could spend $1,000 per day, I won't be able to move. And those machines are computerized. You cannot just send anybody to take the bolt out and ship him until you drop the computer down, or when you reset it, it's not gonna work. Now, if I move my machines in a storage room, now those machines are very expensive machines. I have a warranty for 15 years. I spent only 7 years. I got 8 years more life on that. I spent it only on the machines for $134,000, plus electric, gas, water, this and that. It was almost $340,000. Now, if any one of you go in that building and let me know that anybody can move those machineries in 1 month. 1 month, go and see. It's right there. You go and see.
I appreciate the fact that you keep looking at me, but this isn't my idea.
No, I know it's not your idea. I know 100% this is not your idea, but I don't want to say. Somebody has screwed mine. You know that? Yeah, mine is screwed up. He don't think. No, he's not gonna say that. I know he's not gonna say that.
No.
He's a very hard-working man. I know him, know his father, know his mother. I know that gentleman too. I used to buy the cars for them. You know? I know he will never tell anybody 1 month, because he is a businessman's son.
Mr. Ellie, if I could interject 1 second, and you can finish your comments, and I know this is abnormal, but, this was discussed by the 5 council members up here this evening.
For 1 month?
We heard about the 1 month, we're gonna, I think I think what we discussed was we're gonna get you till 6/1. That's what, June the 1st, June 1.
I can do it. I got to have a place to move. I have a building which Mr. Mayor hate my face, and he don't want to give it to me. All of you have requested, all of these people have requested him, but he is not going to say yes. He had young last time, 3 people, I heard the sound, no. Now, we're dealing with that kind of person as a mayor. We already have many lawsuits, and many more are gonna go. Where is gonna get paid? I don't know. Maybe God dropped some money from the sky. Now, I'm here. I need a place to move. So do The next door lady said, we're not gonna move. And I'm not gonna move, put my machinery in a storage room, because with the weather condition, those machines can get molded. And I forgot the word. And those machines cannot be good. If the mold get into the water line, everything, those machines are dumped. If it is a new machine, I can keep it 10 years in storage room. But somebody think it's easy. I was not going to take the lawyers. I told everybody, I don't like that. I'm a kind of Christian, I don't want to fight. But somebody forced me to take the lawyer. Now I have a lawyer. I paid $5,000 to him. Now all this money, I'm living in a junk building, no insulation for 8 years. My electric bill is $600, $400, $700. My gas bill is $100, $1,400, $1,500 because I don't have no insulation. And if you tell them, now I'm not blaming the workers of the township because I know them from ages. They are very good employees and they can do anything you tell them they'll do it. But we have here hardworking with a stick, driving people like a dictator. You know? Dictatorship. Since Mr. Parisha gone, this town, all these towns know, everybody know what's the difference between this gentleman and Mr. Parisha. You know that? That man will come and ask you at your store what's going on. But this man will avoid you. He don't want to put eyes in your eyes. I remember his word. He came to my store after the election. Mr. Ellie, without you, I would have never done it. That's his word. Ask him. He's sitting there. He told me, Mr. Ellie, without you, I would have never done it. When I go in the building as a boss, I will get you anything you want. That's his word, not my word. I saw him in the office paying the bill. I asked him, how you do? I'm not going to give you anything free. I don't give no bribes. I'm a Christian. I die. I won't give nobody bribes. What he's asking, I don't give nobody free. What is the meaning of that? I want to know. Now, that's enough. All of these councilmen say Mr. Ali didn't help him. They cannot help him because his voice is too loud. They scare all of them. All of them are afraid to say anything.
We're not scared, Mr. Elliott.
Yes,
Let me,
you are.
Mr. President, may I kind of out of order, but chime in here, please?
You and then Mr. Dewey, go ahead.
All right. This is ridiculous. First, I'm going to apologize to the council and the mayor, because I have a
have
love.
never seen, listen to me
Go ahead,
first.
Mr. I'm sorry.
I have never seen nice council. I've been to this country from 61 years. I've been in many towns. I've met many councils. That's the first time in my life I see the best people coming here. But somebody's driving them crazy. You know that? Let them do, Mr. Mayor. Let them do their job. And you have only 1 year left. And you're not going to re-elect it. Can I ask people, is he going to get re-elected?
No.
You're not going to get re-elected, this is my word. You got 1 year, and you're driving this council, those who can do the best job. You have only military experience. Shoot, and you're shooting people. You don't know. You don't know public work, how it works. Public dealing is different than the military shooting.
Mr. Elliott, let's
Thank
hear
you.
what Mr. Bianchini has to say.
So first, I'm gonna apologize to council, the clerk, and the mayor. I had a slight outburst in our closed session, which was very uncharacteristic for me, as I tried to maintain my professionalism. I had the outburst, but I meant what I said. You need to resign. You don't care about these people. You don't care about Mr. Elliott. Dr. Morella has been in this house for 37 years. She has patience. You don't care about them. You need to
Nobody
resign.
cares.
And I guarantee you, if I went out to get signatures with Ms. Adams, we get those signatures. Jack, I sat in a meeting with you yesterday. You are a different person outside of being the mayor. You are not qualified for this job.
Yes.
You need to step down, period.
Right, you're 100% right. You driving these people, you went to the lawyer and told him give
All
him
right,
one month.
hold on, we gotta have some kind of decorum. Mr. Elliott, Mr. Elliott,
If I can
Thank
give
you.
you some advice, I mean it from the bottom of my heart.
I know you guys. I know
Tomorrow, I want you to get a hold of your lawyer, right? Because that, whatever you wanna call him over there, right, shouldn't even be here. And
That's what I said.
and when you go to your lawyer, I'll guarantee you that I could probably get up 5 guys to help you with your deposition.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If I may, Mr. President.
Mr. Hartley.
Yes, I mean, I know you people have heard us tell us many times, and, we've tried to work with the mayor. He only wants to work with us when it's something he wants. He doesn't wanna work with us when it's something the people need, the businesses want. He just does not care for the people, he does not care for the businesses. If it's not on his agenda, it's not gonna happen. As Mr. Bianchini said, he needs to resign immediately, if not sooner. He does not care. That's all there is to it. We cannot do anything. We wanna make this town the best place it can be, but we cannot do it. Because that guy over there, we tried to talk to him privately and in closed sessions, he won't even, when the conversation turns not his way, he shuts us off, turns us out. We had another issue tonight, he's looking to hire people, but we asked for suggestions, and he doesn't wanna take our suggestions, so we're not hiring people. And at this point on, it's gonna be a very hostile council up there. We're gonna make sure the town runs, but outside of that, nothing else is gonna happen.
You have fired 3 administrators, 3.
He's the worst outsider that ever moved to our town.
3 administrators. The one which was at the Patricia time, he was the best administrator.
Mr. Ward, I just have one short thing to say.
Councilman Doyle.
Mr. Ely, if I may, I've had conversations with you prior to sitting up here, and my views and my opinion of your situation has not changed, and I will stand behind that. You have 5 votes up here to get that building. Unfortunately, the one vote that you need, the only vote that makes a difference, that gets it to us so we can approve you, we won't get. That's the problem we're faced with. It's stubborn, it's rude, and it's disrespectful to the residents, but we are doing our best, sir.
And if I can just add one more thing, I mean, he says he's got bigger plans for that property up there, but he has no plans. And guess what? Those plans, even if he does have them, come to council. And I'm gonna tell you what, right now, I know there's 1 no, if not 5 no's up there for anything else you think you'll bring up for that corner up there.
I heard him yelling on Rosemary.
He tried tearing down the building illegally last week. We're not gonna let this stuff happen. All right, sorry.
Kingston Way. Hi, I just wanted to, thank you. I wanted to come up and provide a little education to the residents about the situation as well, because the reality of the situation is that the town invoked eminent domain on the property, which means that the town is also required to provide relocation assistance to Mr. Elliott for the cost of moving out of this town. Now, Mr. Elliott has been here. I just saw this woman leave the room in tears over what is being done. Mr. President, the township would rather shill out money to get them out of the town than allow them to purchase the building, generate revenue for the town in order for them to remain in the town, providing a service to the community. It is a shame, it is a disgrace, and God has judgment in store for you and me, sir.
Amen.
Good evening, everybody in general. I'm losing my voice. Just bear with me. I've been standing in here for so many times, so many years. And when I see it today, impossibility, a lot of you do not know. Many residents in here. I know Mr. Dewey knew the name of the game. I leave it to another ones. That building, where we won, where all the residents wanted, passed it to Mr. Ellie. That building is owned by all the residents in Pemberton Township. I recall as a firefighter what our previous administration did to us. Be honest with you. That's why we don't have firefighters in this town. Pretty soon we gotta pay firefighter for what happened. That means that building, the squad, has been sitting in there for many years. No one been got a penny for. Why did that building or the squad building got inside? There is diamond, there is gold in there. Let this poor resident, what he been paid, he's all rateable all his life. I'm 80. And I know that I'm behind him. Please, take consideration to the older people. He doesn't want the building for nothing. The worst thing that did happen to him was when that community, that shopping center, they decided to go inside it or sold it, whatever. As a landlord, the township became the landlord. So for example, tonight, Jiffy Insurance for the administration was talking in here. Did anybody stop this meeting the way out over there and explain what is going on here? What are we doing? It's sad. We should not do that. Please, pass this building. He got the money, he can pay for it, or he can financially, yes, do it. That building has been empty for many years. And the township never pay a dime for that, because we know who built that building? The residents, the firefighters, the SWAT themselves. And be honest with you, one thing I can say to Mr. Mayor, we need votes. We need your vote. Let that building go. Well, do you think that you're going to get a million, 5 million, 10 million, 20 million? No. Please, let that building go and put this man in there, and he can pay his rateable in there. Because he doesn't want it for nothing.
America, can I stop you for 1 second? We're gonna take a quick recess, because Mr. Elliott's not feeling too good. I want to get him figured out. Hold on. We're just gonna take a 5-minute recess. Thank you. You guys all?
This is one of the most disgusting things I've ever.
He was smiling when Elliot.
I know. I saw him.
All right.
And he left because he knows he's screwed now.
Yep.
That's why
Okay, we're gonna call the meeting back to order. Hopefully, Mr. Ellie's getting attended to. But I just wanna get this thing over and done with, and that way there we can kind of take care of the rest of our residents here. Where were we at? Mrs. Phillips, America, you're still up.
Good evening, everybody. My next question will be this, asking to the mayor in his face, please, give a vote and we can at least make it some kind of rateables in that building. As it is right now. And, I just been, I haven't been feeling well lately. I noticed the I road on 530 in Route 70 the other day, several times last week and yesterday, and I noticed that the only thing they haven't done anything in there, even if the weather been good, some days good, some days bad, for the county. If it's any way, the council can just update me if it's anything is coming up more in there. On 530 and Route 70 East, what the engineers decided to they want to be doing on it.
So as far as right now, America, I don't know, would be the answer. Sure, go ahead there.
Yeah, I talked with the county engineer. The county engineer deferred to the state engineers. I reached out to them, explained to them what we thought was the problem out there and that the road was more dangerous than it was before. And they were gonna have another look at it and get back to me. That was about a week and a half ago. I have something to do tomorrow, but I will call them on Friday and see if I can find out more information, okay?
You spoke to Mr. Devin Levinsky?
I talked to the county engineer himself, and he deferred to the state because when it's state and county, the state supersedes. So, but the state engineers were gonna take a look at it and get back to me, but it's been a week and a half. I will reach out to them on Friday when I have some spare time.
Okay, my last thing what I have for the township it is, if it's any possible that somebody can start making sign, no leader sign, please. Because I haven't been putting no signs in there. I travel everywhere there is signs. And our township doesn't have any. Got only one lousy sign. And there is more garbage, they were tired, they were, name it. Each time I go different direction, they are there. And that's where I leave it there. I will ask more questions next time. Thank you. And I hope that something for Mr. Ellie will resolve, please.
Thank you, Ms. Phillips.
Jerry, being that we don't have a leader, like some of these comments, can you, get with him and with Public Works, being that we're not allowed to talk to anybody?
Sure. But,
Not to put you on the spot, but.
no, of course not. No problem. I mean, I'll talk with Harry to see who's doing what.
Anybody else for public comment this evening?
Hello, my name is Eric Hess, 119 Sunset. I How are you doing, Council? Perry, how was your vacation? Get the trucks ready for the storm? I have a question regarding, hold on one second. Article 8625, sanitary sewer line project, relining project. Is that gonna be all Lakehurst Road? And if it's gonna be relined and the pipe is so old, how do we know that that pipe doesn't have holes in it if it's gonna be relined? And if it's gonna be relined, I mean, it would be a waste of money to reline it if there's trees growing out of it, you know? I mean, it's relining the pipe sounds great, but the issue there is it gonna be cost more in the long run to reline it? Because you reline 100 feet and then you see after 50 feet there's a hole in the pipe, you gotta rip it out and piece the pipe back together piece by piece, and then you're just chasing it forever. And then you spend more money fixing the problem than what you had to.
Well, first what they do, they run a camera through the whole thing.
I hope so.
And look, yeah, and they look for any such problem. We just did a section under an emergency, repair last year, and that's what they did. They ran the camp, found a bad spot, repaired it, and then they relined 315 foot. So that's what they'll do. They won't just, arbitrarily reline it.
Okay.
Okay?
The pipe is shot from Burger King to Country Lakes because it's 50 years old. And you know what poo does to concrete.
Yeah, it's not nice to stuff.
To answer your question, it's a little less than 2 miles supposedly, about 1.9 miles of sewer line.
That's a long line, yeah, it's decent amount of pipe. Now the other issue is, can we please, if Mr. Ellie and the chiropractor, or I think it's a chiropractor or it's a foot doctor, right? Over to EMS building, because I mean, the EMS building's what, 4 bays, correct?
Yep.
We can have them there and have the doctor there, and we can have another business there. And we'd have a nice business there, and we'd have to take in a lot more tax money. Or, and if we can't do that, can we look at the bank or the old Rite Aid? Are those options?
We'll look at Rite Aid was sold, I believe, and I don't know what happened with the bank, but, our great mayor's running 3 businesses out of town.
Yeah, Mr. Hess, the problem, I won't say problem, because that's a negative word, right? But I'll use problem. The problem we have is council can't enter into contracts. So that's an administrative process in our government. So as much as we would all like to help Mr. Ellie out, and obviously that would make the most sense, in my opinion, to do something like that, we don't handle the contracts. So there's nothing, our hands, I hate to use the terminology, hands are
Tied, right, yeah.
We've tried.
Hopefully, there's not much interest, because I mean, that building's a disgrace for a township building. I mean, it's pathetic. I mean, it's pathetic. I mean, you have code enforcement that write summonses for other things, but they don't write summonses for that, with the buildings falling down, the ceilings falling down. There's drainage that just drains into a parking lot that doesn't go anywhere.
Joe's Farms Roof had 10 holes in it for 2 years.
Well, yeah, but you're paying rent for a building for crap. You're paying for crap, pretty much. That's gonna cave in eventually. That's all. Hopefully we can get them moved, or hopefully we get this guy out. These guys out.
Mr. Hetz, that's all you had. If I could ask you, the first time I met you, sir, was for a drainage issue on Sunset. How's that going?
Currently today we ripped out a little bit of pipe, and they brought some material and filled the trenching, because obviously today was gonna rain. Hopefully tomorrow, we'll rip the rest out and clean the woods up, but, it's progress, a little bit of progress each day, so.
I just appreciate you bringing it to our attention, glad we could get it done.
So, but thank you very much.
Yeah, Amy had sent us an update on that, she should send us pictures of the work they did over on your property today, get it pulled away, some of the trees came out from the storm, so.
Thank you, Eric. Okay.
All right, good evening, how are y'all doing tonight? Sorry. Okay, just to let y'all know, from the school board, from the president of the school board and the superintendent, just to let y'all know, we respectfully do not wish to be on the ordinance 5-2025. So the ordinance for introduction there. So, just to let y'all know. All right?
Yeah, you guys weren't on there, were you?
Yes, you have us listed on there. So, and,
Oh,
that
okay.
does not fall within the purviews of school board members.
Understood.
Or the job. So, all right, so we need to be stricken from that. All right, so that's, and then as far as school, remember, education begins at home. All the parents, they can actually go on Genesis. Oops. They can go on Genesis and look up and see how their kids are doing, see if they have any missed assignments. And the more they can support the teachers, the better education the kids will get, and then the better off our town will be in the long run. And also, when the school buses are out, when the red sign is out, that means stop, not go around it. So please, children's safety is number one, all right? And we want to have them have a safe education. All right, so that's pretty much it for the school board. Now, my other hat. Back in February, we had a Klondike Derby down in Pine Hill. The scouts were, the boy troop and the girl troop were out camping in 10-degree weather. Give them good to go. And Sean Wentworth's troop, 145B, they actually won second place in the senior division of the Klondike, which is awesome. And they also won for the most unique egg carry. They hollowed out a pineapple and put it in there, so it was really kind of cool. So that was the, but both troops are doing good. We still can use more kids coming in, so if anyone needs, wants to do in scouts. Now, this summer, we have a scout day camp coming up, and it's going to be it's called the Rubber Ducky Pirates. And we have multiple days and stuff, multiple weeks for that. That's for kids that are in 1st grade to 5th grade. So please check it out and come check it out. The other thing for the older scouts, scouting hit 115 years old last month, which is cool. And just to let you know, Scouting America also came out with a brand new merit badge this month. It's called Multisport Merit Badge, which is kind of takes in swimming, running, and hiking. So I think that's really kind of good for that. All right. And do y'all have any questions for the school or the scouts on that?
Pete, I have a question for you.
Yes.
And I was just thinking about this. But do the scout troops do any cross promotion with BMIA? Maybe BMIA can get that information up on their, potentially on some of their boards, Marty?
Yeah.
You already done? Okay, perfect.
Oh yeah, we're already
figured.
Yeah.
See that?
Marty and I are in touch quite a bit.
Perfect, okay.
Which is good, because she's, we both support scouts.
Perfect.
Which is great. Okay, so now as a residence for ordinance 5-2025, my first question is, did you talk to any of the organizations if they wanted to be part of it prior to including them in the ordinance as it's written? The second question is, what are the qualifications of the people that are going to be on this? Are they qualified, or is it just going to be kind of a catch as catch can pick? The other question is, will it be residents of the township or will it be somebody outside of the township? Let's see, and the other question I have is, what kind of training is going to be applied to the people who are on this commission? Because, are they qualified to make whatever decisions you guys are gonna ask for them, and are they properly qualified and trained? And then that being said, are they going to be protected by the JIF? Because remember, people, when they start getting very litigious, they go for all the pockets. They're gonna go for the people who are on the board. They're gonna go for any of the organizations in which you have listed in this project. And then they're gonna go for the township as well. Because when people start suing, they start going after all the pockets. So that's a thing y'all may wanna look at. And then that was my next question, are the people who are on the board gonna be protected from litigation as well in that case, because they make a decision that's contrary? Are they going to have, what kind of legal recourse and legal actions are they gonna have?
So Pete, what I would do is I would stop you right there because they're very valid questions. And as you can see, the ordinances are for second reading and public hearing, so we'll have a different public hearing for the ordinances as opposed to the resolutions.
Oh, okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
Perfect.
So,
Thank
okay, because just, my last question was, you also don't address the rights of the accused in this as well. Because remember, it is America and everybody is innocent until proven guilty. The way you read this ordinance right now, they're guilty before, they're guilty and they have to prove their innocence the way I read it. So y'all might wanna take a look at that. All right, and that's just, from, township resident point of view. Does that make sense? So, all right, any questions or anything for me?
Pete, if you don't mind, just for my own general knowledge, somebody asked me the other day and I didn't know, do you know, this graduating classes, what percentage of those go on to college and how many are local versus out-of-state colleges?
I can probably get you that information, but I don't know it off the top of my head. They track all that stuff, because that was one of the things that when I first got on the school board, they had a policy of no zeros. So a kid could just ball up a piece of paper and throw it away and get a 50.
Right.
And one of the things that I did not like and I campaigned against was that right there, because, we're dumbing down our kids at that point in time. And the kids figured out they could do 12 assignments the entire year as long as they did good and still remain in honor society. Now they've adjusted, ever since, once I got on the school board and they adjusted that, they've adjusted the program a little bit. They now have it down into a formative and summative. And unfortunately for whenever you're talking school things and school grades, you can't expect something overnight to happen.
Right.
So you kind of have to give it a little bit of time and see how it's working out. I know in January when they briefed as a township resident, I was appalled at our testing scores over the last 2 years. But hopefully, this upcoming year, those testing scores will come up is what I'm hoping will happen, but we'll see.
All right, I mean, if you can get those numbers and send them to my email, I'd appreciate that, it's just for my own
Edification.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else, guys? Oh, all right. Y'all have a great night.
Thank you.
So-
Okay, hi guys, Vicki Adams, 613 Sander Drive. I have my list of questions and my observations. First of all, I'm gonna just go right to that one that Mr. King was just talking about, 5/2025. I was reading through it tonight because I wasn't here at the last meeting, so I did not have a chance to read it. I don't want people up in my business. This is, if, you got people coming to my house saying, oh, I hear you have a problem with so-and-so, can I help you out with that? is this modeled after another township? Is this something that exists anywhere else? Because I've never heard of an organization like this.
So Vicky, I'll answer, I'm gonna answer your questions, and I'll give you the time to come, but it's an ordinance, so it's gonna be open for public comment. I'd like to leave that for the ordinances, if that's possible. Not to cut you off, but I'm trying to expedite the process here, get through resolutions. So it's an ordinance, it's gonna be up for comment later on.
Okay, well, I don't have any comments on the resolutions, but I have comments that I would like to make. So do I wait or do I do them now?
Well, no, you can make comments now.
Okay. So, I want to address what the mayor said about that. The question was, should there be a crossing guard? Or could they do something about that intersection at Weymouth and Rancocas? It used to be a four-way stop. When the school did the survey, they asked the parents in that area, because our students now have to walk to school, they promised us as parents, and I'm one of them, grandparent, that there would be a police officer or a crossing guard there. There is not. Luckily, only one of my grandchildren have to walk to school to Denbo Crichton, but my one granddaughter, it could have been her that morning that young girl was hit, because that's where she goes to the bus, and she was running late. My other granddaughter saw the accident. It's not something that these kids should have to witness. And there needs to be a crossing guard or a policeman. They say there is not. Okay, my neighbor walks her granddaughter to school every day. She said, if there's one there once every 2 weeks, we're lucky. Okay, they need to hire a crossing guard for that intersection, period. Okay, so, and speed bumps aren't gonna do any good, because going down Rancocas is nothing but speed bumps. Okay? And it's a private road, and I think that's when the stop signs came out, and came out of the ground because of the private road. So you can't dictate to them, well, private property, you need to put, they're not gonna listen. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Okay, full transparency. Thank you guys for videotaping, but is there any reason we can't videotape the planning board and the zoning board? They meet in this room anyway. I would like to ask you guys to please start doing that. I can't keep going to all these meetings. I'd like to be able to sit at home and know what's going on, so that I can, know where things are, okay? I know that's up to you guys whether it happens or not.
No, it's outside our jurisdiction. It's the planning board or the zoning board. Yeah.
How is it outside your jurisdiction if you
Because we
say-
don't control the planning board or the zoning board.
Okay, well then I'll go to their meetings and start yelling at them. Okay, Ms. Guthrie asked for a map, so that we could actually see. Now, unfortunately, I was not here last week, so I actually would like to see, or at least know, the EZ zones and what is and isn't in it myself. So I would ask that you table that for tonight until we can actually get something that as a public we can see. Okay, I do not feel that you guys should have to worry about raising a tax or whatever that one resolution is about. If certain people, and the person that needs to hear this left, so, it's really a moot point at this point, but I want to get it on the record, okay? If certain people were quit spending frivolously on light socket locks, on gates that don't need to exist, on TVs that are obnoxiously large that don't need to be, all those little things that are under the $3,000 thing add up over time, which therefore takes away from our budget. And I think that there needs to maybe even be put a cap on that. Okay, you can spend money up to $3,000, but you don't go over 12. Once you hit 12, it's now you gotta come to us. Okay, something, there has to be some cap on him, because nothing is controlling him right now. Okay, I also would like to know if there's any updates on any of the lawsuits and the workman comps cases that are going on. Do we have any, do we know where they stand? And for the last 3 years, and I've talked to 3 of you guys about this, for the last 2 years, I get a few extra minutes. I have worked tirelessly to apply for the grant to have my house, my bathroom redone in my house, because my husband is disabled, my daughter's disabled, and I needed it redone. For 2 years, I filled out 3 times the financial reports. I have been in contact with developmental directions, I did everything I was supposed to do, jumping through their hoops and everything. only to the morning that the contractor was supposed to come to my house and sit down with me and literally start the project. I'm sitting there waiting and he doesn't show up and he doesn't show up, and all of a sudden I was like, well, let me call him. Vicky, didn't you hear? And I'm like, what? The contract's been canceled. I'm like, what do you mean it's been canceled? I was furious. Poor Dewey heard it all the way in Florida, and these other two heard it, and my terminology, I was one blank off Pemberton Township citizen, to say the least, okay? What I was even more upset afterwards, I was told, oh, well, she'll reach out to you, she'll let you know, and that's fine, you guys changed the program. But this program ended December 31st, the contract with them. Why in January is developmental directions, myself, and all the contractors still signing contracts, still doing paperwork, still being led to believe this is gonna happen? Developmental directions found out the day that I found out. Nobody from the township told me. I found out from my contractor. And I think, I wanna go in, I don't know if I'm allowed to or not, but I wanna go and do a public records request and find out how many people were screwed out of this contract from December 31st until February, whatever. Because the two people that I know were screwed out of it are definitely on Matt Mann's hit list. Are we the only two people involved? I'd like to know. Think about it. Okay? I don't know if I'm able to do that. I've sort of been hem-hawing around about doing it, because I don't know if it's allowed, or if it's information that I'll be able to get. But this has gotta stop, you know. I know I've been promised I'm first on the list, but when's the list gonna happen? I've been waiting 2 years, literally. My husband is handicapped, my daughter is handicapped. You know, I need that bathroom redone. I don't have the funds to do it. This was a grant that put a lien on my house, and, you know, literally, the first delay was when Hornicle was here, and the developmental direction guy told me, I said, well, what's the delay? He said, well, the township can't decide if they're gonna have you pay for the lead inspection, or if it's gonna come out of the contract. You know, well, guess what? The township is the only township that they know of that would not pay for the lead inspections out of this thing. What's he trying to do? You know, these are your people. You're supposed, you know how I feel about it. I'm sorry, you know. It's ridiculous. You know, I thought, I'm gonna start to cry, because I busted my butt out there for months to get signatures. Everybody's like, oh, we're behind you, Vicky, we're behind you, Vicky. Not a single damn person came alongside me and helped me get those signatures. Not one person turned in signatures to me. I got those 2,500 signatures myself. Busting my butt, taking my time away from my family. This community doesn't want him here. And you guys should be able to find something to get him the hell out of here. And Mr. Solicitor, you know, I just want to know, is there anything in the lawsuits that we're up against because of him that can get him out of here? I mean, I just want to know how else besides, you know, my family doesn't want me to do the petition again because it took so much out of me the first time. But we can't keep doing this. We can't keep putting Mr. Ellie and the other people in this community through the hell that this man has put us through. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Can we get a talk with Raul and see if we can get an answer for,
Yeah, sure.
Because I think they went to a seminar last week as well as this new program.
Ms. Adams, I'll speak, Mr. Dewey's asked me to contact, thank you. I'm gonna contact tomorrow for Mr. Dewey, the CD director, look back to you as to what's going on with your particular contract. Maybe before you leave, just give me your phone number and I'll call you later. That's it, tomorrow.
May I ask one of the residents a question? Michelle, did you get your answers on that?
Oh, I'm sorry, what
Did you get your answers on the RCA program that you were looking for?
I didn't get all of them, but a few more.
Okay,
But Rosemary did text me
Okay.
about the new program, so.
okay.
All good?
Do you know where we'd be able to find information at for the
Yeah.
RCA program?
What's that?
Do you know where we'd be able to find information about the RCA program?
No longer exists.
There is no more RC, so I can discuss this during council comments to be a little bit more fitting. And we can answer those, because we've been working pretty diligently on the new program. Okay, because we knew that the other one expired, okay? So I'll get to that after we get to the resolution. We shouldn't take too much time at all. Anybody else for public comment this evening? Okay. Seeing none, we'll close out public comment at this point in time. And